Hello everyone and welcome back to Sharp Cuts. My name is Garrett May alongside Josh Nickel. As always, welcome back to the show and welcome back to me, to my full setup here. I hopefully am sounding silky smooth on my beautiful mic and hopefully the camera's looking good as well. Josh, you're looking good all the time. That's the last nice thing I'm going to say to you today. Yep, stay silent. That's it. Perfect. We got a great guest today. We got JP Moisan who's joining us on the show. Welcome, JP. How you doing?
Pretty good. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, no worries. Welcome to the show. So, Josh, tell me what's going on today. JP, he's a physical training guy. He's a trainer. We're maybe not the two best people to talk about this sort of stuff with him because I'm looking at you, you're looking at me. Are we in the best shape? Probably not, but where do we want to start?
Well, I think it's important for the listeners to understand that he's here to educate us because, yeah, we're a little bit strangers to the weight room. But he was name dropping before the show. He's worked with Simon Factou-Boutin, friend of the show, Hugo Rosso, but Kyle Desjardins, who's on the national team now. Love that guy. So I just want to know real quick, as he was name dropping, how'd you get into this before we start picking your brain about stuff? Because, Garrett, I think we're the guys who would go to the combine where you would be like a first overall pick who couldn't do like 3 chin-ups. So just to set the scene for what we're in for here.
That's a sharp cut, Josh. 3 chin-ups, give me at least 8.
8 right now.
Oh, that's like pretty good.
Maybe -1 right now. Could I even grab on and hold to the bar? Maybe not. How did you get into it, JP?
First of all, I played volleyball since 12 years old, and after that, if you know Reed Hall, I'm a short player, so we played against each other.
You and him are cut from the same cloth, eh?
Yeah. And I'm 5'11", so I'm short, so I had to work out pretty well, even if I play in college, and start to playing beach volleyball in 2000 now. And then
wait, you started playing beach in the year 2000?
Yes.
And you're still playing?
Yes.
Good for you, man. I mean, round of applause here, Josh.
In fact, I started in the backyard of the school. They had a beach court over there, and they had like Sly, Sylvain Duplessis, who was in the old timer. And for those, I think Garrett,
Duplessis, that's a volleyball name. If you know that name in volleyball circles, that's a big name out there, isn't it? His dad played, he played. That's a guy, Josh, who I would go up to and my dad would say, "Oh, you got to meet this guy," you know, that sort of name. And
Gilles Lépine, who's what his partner, and they were like Sly, been a physical education teacher at my school in that time,
and they built the court.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous, man. Are you kidding me? You started playing beach volleyball on your backyard court at the school? What are we doing here in the rest of Canada, Josh?
Says the guy who grew up in the beaches, like, boo-hoo. Oh, my dad ran a pro tour. I was so hard done by.
Yeah, but if I had one at school, too, think how much better I would have been, Josh.
Yeah, but yeah, and that's funny, but because of the COVID and also just like a little part of it, my son is school have a beach volleyball court.
Unbelievable.
In school. And when did COVID, me and my partner and some of the guys would just start to practice over there. We didn't go to the other place. We just start and get back there.
Yeah, so, kids are out of school. We're hitting the beach court. Beat it, kids. Yeah, we're going to play. Well, JP, we didn't bring you on here to rub it in how many beach volleyball courts there are in Quebec and how many but we did bring you on a little bit because we do want to learn. And, you train in beach volleyball, guys. Josh and I need it. Before we get into any of this intelligent stuff, Josh, I need to hear from JP. What am I got to be doing now that I'm a retired guy? I'm fat and lazy, out of shape. What do I need to get back into things? I think that's maybe something the audience can relate to.
But usually, I think just to be able to do like the basic is squat, hinging, like press and pull, presses, vertical presses, horizontal presses
with the weights.
Is the best way just to have the 90 degrees weight. So pull and push on both sides.
Now, what if I struggle to do that with body weight?
But yeah, with body weight is pretty easy. If you want to squat first,
chest press, no weights. Like I'm getting me sore, Josh. I don't know if you've tried this these days.
But just doing push-ups it's easy. Do pike push-ups, so having just incline, that the shoulder press.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Josh, how many push-ups are you doing these days?
You know, I prefer to think of it like a fail set, Garrett, or as many reps as you can, really. So I just go hard for as long as you can.
And how many are you doing? What are you getting to?
I can't remember the last time I did push-ups.
Yeah. Like, okay. First topic.
But that's a good thing that it started like that, because if you know the relative strength index is with the body weight, so that you can do like more with your body weight on push-ups or pull-ups, and that's results. It's your relative strength index.
Right.
Even if you do with a goblet squat with 50% of your body weight, and the more you have, it's your strength index.
Right.
So that's how you can just start. If you know, maybe you have heard about Joe DeFranco. It's an NFL strength coach, and is a big stud. You see him is like late 40s.
Yeah.
Is like
that's my dream right there. Late 40s, thick boy.
Yeah, and this guy, it just improved the relative strength index about like
I see.
Those 3 movements just have on a cut on 70.
JP, you're bringing terms here to the show, and you're raising the intelligence bar. But Josh, like you got, I mean, Josh is a numbers guy. Josh is the technical guy. When you bring in the word index, you lose me. I'm struggling to keep up. I'm a feel it out kind of guy. I know Josh is like, hey, Josh? I bet your immediate thought was, I wonder what the relative strength index of all my guys is.
No, my first thought when we're talking like old guy stuff is just the warm up, because I know when I have to enter balls of practice, Garrett, I'm not doing a warm up. The guys get their bands out, and vintage Garrett May, you would clob a few balls over the net, you run around the court a little bit. Like your warm up wasn't exactly technical either, so maybe JP could give me a warm up.
You better watch yourself. You're coming in hot this episode, Josh, with the chirps in my direction here. What are you talking about? My warm up was technical as, you know what? You're right. I didn't do much.
If you played at 10 a.m., Garrett, what time did you start warm up? Like you were like a 40-minute guy for sure.
You got to be honest with this. Like what age? Because it did change, right? Like at 18, I'm warming up maybe 20 minutes before, maybe, and that's to hit.
When
like,
you're getting older, like I do, and I'm still playing sometimes against good players.
Yeah.
Maybe when I go out there, I will try just to move a little bit longer. I feel like so sore. My hip is just like old, like my age. My shoulder is older than my age, so I can feel it sometimes.
Yeah,
so sure,
I gotta get in doing the push-ups, the shoulder push-ups, squat, that sort of stuff's gonna keep me in it. You're saying?
Yeah, because that's a good thing. First, not as a warm-up, but that mostly to start your strength conditioning, to put you like what I am right now with where I can go. Because usually if we do like strength conditioning, like Simon and all the others,
you're talking about people who are in much better shape than me. And Josh.
But they are strong. And if you talk with other like strength coach and all that, the first thing is strength. If you're able to elevate your strength, you're getting better, because you have more. Your brain will talk to your body quickly, so that's the nervous system.
Okay.
So if you're able to get that index pretty high, that's helping you. So
if I'm making a routine for myself, say I'm getting up in the morning, I'm gonna do a little few things. Already, I'm
usually when you woke up.
Yeah.
Just start like later than 30 minutes after you wake up, because most of the time I see people. That's because I'm also a back pain guy.
Yeah.
So and if you do it too quick, your disc between your vertebrae getting bigger, and they get hydrate. And the thing is,
I'm getting bigger though. I want that.
No, because that have to be like relative, like thick to be able just to prevent all those movements.
Right. Okay.
So at least after 30 minutes or an hour after just woke up, you're able just to do a walk. So get there and just like older you get, and every time if you have a job like you sitting more, walk. Just by walking, that's going to help you.
Okay, wow.
And then just elevate your heart rate if you want to work out. And after that, you can go and run a little bit, and then you're able to get to your warm up. So to elevate your
whoa, that's just the warm up?
That was the pre-warm up.
Oh my gosh, dude. What? That's my day. Like that's a day. If I get out for 3 walks in my day, that's a success.
But that's a good thing for your back though.
So that's just for my back.
Out, yeah, that's good.
Are you kidding me, JP? Like it sounds like maintaining my body's a full-time job. What are you talking about? We ain't got time for that.
It is. Because if I have
I'm screwed. Josh, I'm screwed. I'm going to be crippled, man. You are too. You're hitting balls in practice?
Waking up early to then wait a half hour, then to start my exercise. I just want to like wake up, shower, grab a yogurt on the way out the door and start my day, Garrett. I don't want to like.
Wait, you're having just yogurt for breakfast? That's a whole different thing. You're just waking up, popping a yogurt, and you're good to go?
But the fact if you go too fast, and sometimes like I said, for your back, and if you rotate and all that pressure on, you can have like more damage to your back than if you just like remove all that water into those discs and then work out.
Well, JP, I can say you're the first person to come on the show who's actually been concerned for my back health. And I got to applaud you for that. I mean, we don't get that kind of service here on Sharp Cuts. Are you kidding me? Everybody's coming on. We had maybe 1 or 2 conversations with guys talking about physical training, and they're all talking a big game. Oh yeah, you got to be in there getting strong. That's a big part of it. But I mean, come on, is anybody really out there doing it unless they're getting it with their trainer? So segueing to the topic I really want to discuss, because I think it's relevant to Josh, is we've had this conversation around like strength training versus actual practice, and how important is strength training and managing your body outside of injury management? Obviously, staying healthy and playing in the game, obvious benefit. But in terms of increasing your performance, how big is that when you're trying to manage that also against your needs for practice? Like, if I can use some examples from the guys on Josh's squad here on the national team, you got some guys who need to be passing 10,000 balls. They need to be setting 10,000 balls. Like, do they even need to be in the weight room getting stronger at all? Like, where does that play into those type of guys?
Usually it depending if you have usually I call it the mature player. Yeah. So if they have already their skills and they're good enough, and they have don't need it that much. So, and that they are younger, they have to be healthier, they have to be stronger to be ready to that game. I think they have to be more in the weight room sometimes just to get those skills to be higher, to get that high level better. But if you're you need more passing, more volleyball skills, you need to be more on courts.
Right.
Like for myself, when it's turning on summer, because I'm not playing anymore indoors, so I don't have those skills, but I'm working. I do my workout. I have my home sets out there, my stuff. So when it's summer, I just doing passing. We have our coach out there, Guylaine Dumont, who's coming with us sometimes. So we're just getting those balls going and passing. So I think when you don't have those volleyball volume, you need to have more volleyball volume. But if you need more strength because you're not jumping higher, you're not fast enough, now you need more
It's interesting, JP. You seem well placed because I feel like, and Josh, tell me if this is true, I feel like you often get the guys who are the physical dudes who need the more volleyball skill. They're the most committed to the weight room and they're in there all the time. And to hear it from a strength trainer, though, to say, hey, what are you doing here? Your passing is terrible. Get back out there. That's a huge kind of message. I feel like we have some guys like that who could maybe use that message.
Well, a friend of the show, Alex O'Neid, he would tell you at Queens that sometimes they were getting too big, Garrett, that like the platform skill in our sport where like, and there's other guys, like I don't know for a fact, but maybe Grant O'Gorman suffered from this. Like the guys who were taking bench way too seriously, like it starts to affect your ability to do the technical skills if you're not mobile in your upper body, right?
That's not me. Like I was never having that issue. I was never had a platform issue because of my pectorals. But I mean, like how huge is that coming from the strength trainer to say, hey, like I would love that. See, but I was the guy who needed to be in the weight room, though, because I was, I guess, what JP was calling a mature player. Like, I didn't really need to be in there as much. I should have spent more time in the weight room. But that's also a tough sell the other direction, Josh, because say you get, say a guy like Liam Kopp or a Jake McNeil, who I would say are mature players. If for those of you who don't know those players, kind of younger, up-and-coming guys for a while, but they've gotten their reps. Like, those are guys who maybe need to be in the weight room, I don't know, JP, like, what, 3-4 times a week rather than at practice?
Depending on where you are in the season, and also like I do like to have like before the season just 4 times. More you get through the practices and the games, you have like 3 times. And we do with like in season we do the polarized training. That's a scoop because I think that there's no that much strength coach doing, but we do it with Simon, and we did it for the past 2 years. That's a polarized training. It's the heavy stuff on one day, and the light plyometrics are movements on the Thursday, so we're ready for the tournaments and like all that power. So to maintain those strength during the season, because that's another thing, like all players not doing enough strength conditioning during the season. So they all play, but they're not maintaining their strength level.
Yeah.
So that's another way also to...
How many guys during, like, in an off-season week? We're in the off-season right now. I don't want to assume. It's been a while since I've been a part of the program, Josh, so maybe I'm speaking out my arse here, but we are in the off-season, right?
We would technically call this the preseason because competitions, if everything goes to plan, will start in March.
Jeez, like there's basically no off-season. Like off-season is the holiday, like December, January, that's it.
Yeah, basically.
What a pain to be thinking I got to be in the weight room 4 times a week, lifting heavy during those months. Like you just want a break sometimes, you know?
Well, I think it's lifting heavy the smart way, and I think there might be a misconception where when I look at top-level volleyball players, male, female, indoor beach, they're not super jacked people. Like Garrett, like maybe like Pedlo and Alisson, like those guys are like bigger dudes who look like they could play linebacker. But
Pedlo is going to love that comparison to Alisson, and Alisson, I hope would love the comparison to Pedlo. I mean, absolutely.
But anyways, like bigger people. But when you look on tour on average, Garrett, like when you were like in an elevator in the lobby at lunch or whatever, like they're fit people, but they're not ginormous. They're not like football players where you walk by and be like, you're a special body type of a human, where like volleyball players are functionally fit. I would say they're not ginormous people.
Well, there's times where I'm in the elevator and I'm looking, I'm going, this guy doesn't even work out. This guy's like gangly and has like nothing, and this happened less frequently, but sometimes this guy's got a full gut. Like a full gut, fully not even really in that great of shape, just out there dominating. Or guys smoking cigarettes like between matches, like how are you doing that? You're like exhausted. Like definitely would see that stuff on tour, which in my youth made me go, like these are the guys I'm competing against.
That's okay.
I come home, what am I doing?
If it's working, I had some players in the past just like, if I'm working, I'm winning. I'm not need that.
Yeah.
I'm able to win but more if you want to involve, if you want to go to a national team, if you want to go on the world tour, I think you need to be a little bit involved in your strength conditioning first. Like you said before, it's to get healthy. Your joints need it first. Just because when you're jumping, you get to like 6 times to 10 times your body weight through the ground.
Yeah.
Like for sure in beach volleyball, because we have the sand, we have less than that. But when you have like creating speed just to your approach in indoor and you're jumping and you're landing quick, even if you wait like 220, that's turning to 440.
Hey, who are you saying weighs 220 here, JP? Like just watch who you're calling a big guy here, right?
Yeah, but if you like,
you're not that far off though. I should be careful.
Simon is around like 200. What? Like, I don't know. And when he's jumping, the weight 20 leg bang
is
is
a
still
lot.
amount of weight. So he needs to.
Oh,
handle.
yeah. Simone Facteau is moving around a ton of weight. That guy's huge. Oh, sorry. Should we not be... should we not be talking about weights on the show? Oh, God. Okay, but then... but that's the thing. You're right. I think some people who need it, they need it. But then you see these people on the World Tour who are just so talented and winning. You know what? This happened more when I was first getting on tour. There's still guys who are there who are like, who don't do physical training, who don't do this stuff. They just play beach volleyball and that's it. And because they got so good at it, and you can be competitive, especially in beach, because indoor it's a lot different. But in beach, you can be competitive with the physical disadvantage, and still win games and make a career out of that.
Yes, and just like a guy, the Italian guy, Carambula, the first time I saw him once, I was like playing in Atlantic City. It was and they had the open, and I played just, if you travel there, you don't want to be in the open first in my level, because if you go to the open, it's only like double elimination and you're out already.
Right.
You spend a lot of money to get there.
Yeah.
So we've been to double A, but we've seen that guy over there is same kind of height as me, but a little belly over there. But damn, he knows how to play that game, and he's able just to meet there. So you seem like, okay, this dude does go work out. But after that, with age and get maturity and all that, they get involved in strength conditioning, because they knows if you want to do the Olympics, if you want to improve those skills, you need also to get like able to handle that level of practice, that volume.
Oh, yeah.
But also like that in the States is already winning
that's the huge difference between indoor and beach, I feel like, Josh. And you see it all the time, because it's very rare, I think, that you see players who play beach volleyball just for the career. Like, it's the Olympics or bust for a beach volleyball player. That's kind of the life. You can make money, and it can be a thing you do, but it's not really like indoor, where you go play pro here, you go play pro there, and the longer you play, that's your career. You make money, you save it up, and the Olympics is kind of like, oh, is your country good, type thing. So like, I see beach players all the time who they don't care if they, like the longevity of their career necessarily, because they've maybe already decided that they're going to retire after the next quad or whatever. So like, who cares if my knees are bad in 8 years, because I need to win now. Otherwise, like, I can't afford this for 12 years.
Yeah.
Don't you feel that way, Josh?
It's tough. It's tough. I think that even the lifestyle, Garrett, like, you're on the road, you're eating so food sometimes. Like, it's hard to find a gym. Like, I think that it's easier to focus on volleyball because that's what you have access to. Where, like, seriously, Garrett, when you're traveling, like, how could you find access to a weight room sometimes?
Well, now, I do have a funny story about a weight room in a foreign country, because I did the one time I thought we got eliminated early, and I thought, we're here for another 4 or 5 days. I might as well work out. We can't practice. And I go into the weight room, and in there is Phil Dalhausser, just bicep curling like 30s or 40s. And I was like, oh my God, like, Phil Dalhausser's in here working hard, and he's still in the main draw. And I was like, okay, whoa, like, that just gave me a whole different perspective on that guy. I thought he was a guy who didn't work out. He was just big. But no, it changed my mind on him for sure. But yeah, it's definitely hard. Like, not every place has a weight room. And especially if you're staying in cheap places. Like, Cam Whelan and I stayed in a hostel one time. We had to share a bedroom, me and him in a bunk bed in Gestad. And then in the other bunk bed is some random older lady who just happened to be coming through the Swiss mountains. So,
wow.
So we're definitely not getting our weight room action there.
But that's why I'm like, when I was like working with a baseball, because I did been the strength coach for a pro team over there at Trois-Rivières, and we were traveling with the TRX, the suspension training.
Yeah.
So that's easy to bring it in the hotel, just to do your shoulder care, and also you can do some other stuff. And also, like, I think the players, like, we were talking about some Pello before, and it was like, this guy, I know him pretty well, but is like using bands, using stuff that's easy just to put in the bags. And like, some bands have like 265 pounds, 120 if you put that higher. So that's pretty easier right now than what we had before. If you look in like traveling and like
before those bands existed, like you have nothing.
Marquis, you didn't have that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Now, that is a tough thing though, because we did talk about this on an earlier episode, and I'm curious your thoughts, JP, on the bands. I said to Josh, when you see those guys with the bands before they're warming up and they're doing all this stuff, you look like a bit of a go-hard, a bit of a Gordy go-hard. Do you even really know what you're doing in some ways? Like, especially the guys who just like do this, like, they're like going through half speed, like they don't even care. Like, that's definitely a thing, guys just going through the motions with that. Or do they all know what they're doing?
I hope they know what they're doing, because sometimes
there's no way they know what they're doing.
If they don't know, that's a big mistake, because they can get more tired.
Josh, you got to take a photo of one of your guys doing that and be like, "Is this guy know what he's doing?" Like, put him on blast. Like, "Hey, is this a proper exercise right here?"
It's like all the external rotation we see with the bands. It's like, I think you have to do it in almost like triangles. And also use like the three-phase, isometric, eccentric, and with concentric movement. So if you're just holding like that, is the mind-muscle connection, just to be able just to use those muscles.
Yeah, these guys definitely don't know what they're doing. Like, so that's definitely not happening. Like the triangle, eccentric, concentric, they don't know any of that. Josh, you got to grill them next time you see somebody pull out a band. You need to pass a test before you're allowed to use this in warm-up, I feel like.
But it's a good thing we have a strength conditioning coach, because the volleyball coach, I've heard of these words, Garrett, but for me to define them and maybe demonstrate to the guys, like, I can't help them.
Yeah, like, here's a doodle poll every time, and you're going to send it to your strength coach, and they're going to give you approval to do this before practice or not.
Here, Liam, get out of the way. Watch me show you how to do this one. That's not happening.
Okay, you want to get into that? Because that is a topic I wanted to get into. And JP is well placed to help us with it. And we've never asked this question on the show, though. What is the place of a coach's fitness in the volleyball world? Does it have a place? Do we care? How does that come into play? When you think about your volleyball coach, do you even care? Do you think it's important? I got my thoughts, but I'm curious what you guys think. Because, Josh, you are a coach.
Maybe I can start on that. I've been coach for a while, and also I was doing it for young kids here in Quebec City. I did coach with Team Quebec in beach volleyball also. And I think for my part, depending if you're like, because where I'm working, it's sport-études, so they have like the half of the day in school, the other half in volleyball.
Yep.
So for myself, more they have like strength conditioning, and also has a strength coach, not only a volleyball coach, but has a strength coach.
Yeah, then you have to be in shape, though. Strength coaches have to be in shape. If you're an out-of-shape strength coach, it's like it's an oxymoron. It just can't happen, right?
Yeah, but
a volleyball coach, like
as a volleyball coach, I think always to be able, as a young age, I think the young guys will maybe, how I can say, because I have like all those guys from Université Laval who's been on my 18U players, so I know them pretty well. And sometimes I just like, I think if I want them to listen to me, sometimes I think just to be able to still do what they have to do, it's a good example. So preach by example. But when you're at university already and a coach or in college, maybe sometimes you don't need to be on the court and show them.
Right.
But I think as a high school and a sport-études, I think you have to be able to do those things.
Okay, interesting. So interesting perspective JP's bringing there. So he's saying the more involved the coach really needs to be on the court, the better shape they should be in, so they're capable of doing that. So like with kids, like with triple ball, you got to run out there and toss the ball. Like,
yeah, true.
You can't avoid that. Like, you got to be able to do that. You don't want to be like, totally out of shape. And when you're in high school, you got to like demonstrate and get in there and, for sure. But I don't know though, because I would think, and Josh, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but when you look at a university coach, and especially your coach, if they're not in great shape, it's like, well, you're going to ask me to go to the weight room? You're going to ask me to do strength and conditioning? You're going to ask me to be disciplined, yet you can't keep the same routines and discipline that you're asking me to do? Like, what the heck is with that?
Interesting. Yeah, I think I get it. I think you need to role model and you need to like demonstrate these things. But I think for me, Garrett, like the players are doing the physical part, so they need to get their sleep right, their diet right. Like for me, I need to make sure that I'm prepared, that I have all the things to do. So if I'm staying up cutting video, that means I'm probably not going to wake up 30 minutes early and do this walk and stretch and all that other stuff. So I think my time goes to different areas, Garrett. But that is an interesting point where if you're not modeling the behavior you're expecting, is it fair to ask for it? So maybe, Garrett, I need a personal trainer and I can get back on the wagon here.
You make a good point. Like you have other things you got to focus on. So it's not necessarily that the coach needs to be doing the same thing the players are, but like if you step out there and need to like, even if you're just doing it as an example, like just picture this, JP, with me, come along with me on this journey. You picture Josh Nickel steps out onto the court. He's talking about a cut shot, goes to give the cutty just to do it and can't even get out of the sand, trips, absolutely screws it up, hurts shoulder, rolls it right into the net. Like, how is that coming across to your impressionable athletes there? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I found a solution, Garrett, because you never want to give them the wrong demonstration.
I'm not saying you did that, Josh. So I'm not saying that happens.
I use video. I would have one of the athletes demonstrate. There's ways around it that I'm not the one being like, hey, everyone, come watch me do it and see how easy it is, because it's not going to get it done.
But I think they have like two ways. I had a coach before who's been an involved coach. So even in beach volleyball here in Quebec City, who's been like always playing and also be on the off court just to give us some toes ball, but serving and all that. This guy was there, but also had a coach like, I don't know if you know Limoilou, the coach from Limoilou. So Roch Picard is one of the brainest guy out there. He made players win so many college tournaments and all that, but he's not in shape. If you see him, I think every year, I think he's getting bigger sometimes, but he's so smart out there.
Right.
He knows how to get involved those athletes to be able to do like what we call elites. He knows how to get those athletes out there and do their things. They know how to get those guts of the players to get all on the courts. Like you said, that's why they have sometimes assistant coach. That's the job. Just to toss those balls out there. You're right. Assistant coach have to be in shape, though.
Okay. Well, hey, there's a different question. Does the assistant need to be in shape? Because for me, like as an elite player, say, if my coach never played and is not in great shape, like I've never had that as a coach. Like I've never had a coach who never played or is not in great shape, because it was just I would find that difficult to really, if somebody's pushing me hard, I would want that from a coach, but the message would be dulled a little bit because this is not somebody who, really ever went through what I'm going through. You do make a good point about, though, the program organizer, like a university coach who does recruiting more than coaching, who does like lineups and video and stuff like that more than actual coaching. Maybe it's not so bad there. Who cares, right? But if you're on court giving direction to a player, I can't get around that. Like I feel like I would have a tough time really taking that advice as a player. Well, I guess I'm right then. Nope, that's it. Argument over. Silence the critics.
No, but like I said,
Josh, get in shape there, bud.
Is that what this is really about? I feel like that's the foundation.
No, I think you're in pretty good shape. I think you're in pretty good shape. Are you in good shape?
I'm okay. I could be better.
If you needed to get out there and play volleys, how long would it be before you passed out?
I feel like indoor I could survive a lot longer than on the beach. I think moving in sand's hard, Garrett.
Dude, exactly my point. Like, how is your beach coach saying that? We get it, coach.
Yeah, but like you said, like indoor and beach coach, is not the same coaching. Like beach
true.
volleyball coach
It's true.
is on the box hitting, is over there like showing how to get to that ball. I think beach volleyball coach are more in shape than indoor volleyball because after when you are indoor volleyball, you have more sitting out there. But when you have to be out there, at first by the heat, you don't want to be heavy. And
beach volleyball coaches are in better shape, but way worse dressed than indoor coaches. I mean, come on. Josh, when you were indoor coach, you were looking sharp. See some of our thumbnails of young Josh, an indoor coach, like looking beautiful in the suit, full tie, looking great. And then you show up in the beach to coach and you're in hoodie and sweats, like total scrubs.
Daily. I have a daily hoodie here.
I mean, you're comfortable, but in terms of aesthetics, which is what we're really about here on the show, I mean, you're not bringing it. So I'm gonna hard segue.
He's the tech guy. He's the tech guy. It's not the guy who's hand-holding and heading. I don't know if Josh, are you when you're coaching, are you only with your computer and your camera out there? Or are you tossing balls and hitting balls?
At our level, I will do like in a preseason phase, I'll enter balls. As soon as we're in a comp phase, no, because I can't replicate the speed of the World Tour. So it's kind of a waste of breath.
So put on that suit and look sharp for practice. Your Sunday best every day. Suit up, Josh. You'll earn a ton of respect or completely embarrass yourself. You'll have to get back to us.
Can I go barefoot? Do I have to wear the dress shoes on the sand, Garrett?
Here's the move. Here's the move. Dress shorts, short sleeve dress shirt, tie.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But last year, Jake McNeil and I were going to coach club together. We wanted to wear Hawaiian shirts. Just mix it up a little bit. I think that we could pull it off.
I think you could pull it off.
Jake McNeil can't pull off a Hawaiian shirt. He's probably wearing a Hawaiian shirt right now.
No, that's the thing. I think he'd be swimming in it a little bit. He'd have to go extra medium to get that thing nice and snug. Anyways, JP, we didn't warn you about this before the show, but we have a weekly, and I didn't warn Josh about this before the show. We have a weekly few segments we're trying out. And you have to comment down below if you like these segments or not, because if you don't like them, we'll scrap it. But if you like it, we'll keep doing it. Where we name our player of the week. Did we do clown of the week last week?
We did not. I don't think we did clown.
I'm going to do clown. I have a clown of the week this week. So maybe I don't know if I'm going to do player. But we have players of the week. Josh is scrambling to prepare his player of the week right now. I am as well. I've got one ready, though, and it's a throwback. So I'm going to start. JP, keep thinking about it. We're going to shout out a player of the week. So last week on the show, we had two guys from the University of Saskatchewan. We chatted with them about their games. They're in first place, the COVID thing, everything they're dealing with. And so my player of the week has got to go to Dylan Mortensen. Congrats, Dylan. I mean, you didn't get the most kills in the game, but I'm sure that your coaches after the game came back and said to him, great job, Dylan. So well done, Dylan. I said last week we couldn't do it. This week I did it. Now, I'll save my clown of the week until after. But just as a note, Matthew Primrose, the other guest we had on last week, did not lead his team in digs. He had more than 3, but did not lead the team. So there's just a little update for you there on that. Josh, you ready to go?
Yeah, Morty, great job. Like, just can't say enough about what that guy accomplished. I didn't watch the games, Garrett, and they didn't send his highlights. So did it really happen?
I was looking for photos of some sort of celebration, like we discussed last week, but none of that came. So there was no celebration photos, nothing. If they're there, nobody sent them to me. I'm highly disappointed.
So for me, really, it was the perfect weekend because I wanted both teams to have a good time. So Alberta and Calgary split this weekend, Garrett. But I'm going to go with my player of the week, Billy Johnstone from Alberta, because he just came on Passin Dimes, and he'll be the episode Friday. So as you're listening to this, if you haven't go back to the Passin Dimes archive and get Friday's episode with Billy. It's just a 9-1 team, Garrett. I think when we talk about who's in first place, 9-1 deserves to be in first place, unlike our new friends of the show from Sask, who, as you're listening right now, are 5-5.
Okay, wow. So, yeah, I mean, 9-1 is a well-deserved first place. So, congratulations. Well done. Are we giving too much airtime to the University of Saskatchewan here? Like, do we need to cut this down?
Well, until the other conferences get going, what do we have to talk about? If you want to pick a player of the week, they are in the Canada West.
They're not playing. So
all right.
That's the first. And they will start next week to practice, and after that I don't know if they will start to play games.
All right, quit stalling, JP. Let's get your player of the week here, bud. I know you're stalling because it's an on-the-spot question.
I have like one of my clients. She's playing with the college. Is Florence Caron. No, and just because they did on the news, just to making the points that athletes and youth athletes have to get there and be able to practice. So just for that, like Florence Caron and her sister, I think they have to share there for the news and to talking about like what they do, what they want to do to get back on the courts and to practice. So they are my players of the week on that.
Absolute congratulations. I mean, on the spot, came up with a touching, heartfelt thing. That's really not the kind of thing we ever expect on this show, but thank you for bringing that, JP, and thank you, Florence. Cheers all around. Now, we're going to do Clowns of the Week this week, Josh. I've just decided. I mean, we're going to do it. So think on it, because we're going to call somebody out. Now, mine has been brewing for a while, so I don't know if I have a specific clown of the week, but definitely I noticed a trend. And I'm going to call out a bunch of our former guests. In fact, all of our former guests. Because when you come on the show, you say, hey, how was it? Did you enjoy it? Did you have a good time? And everybody says, yes, it was fun. We like this. Now, I'm noticing the subscriber count on YouTube, and I pay attention to that, and I watch whether it goes up and down after an episode, what happens to it. And last week, we talked with Dylan and Matt, and we said, hey, yeah, subscribe, do all this. Did you like it? Could you guys help us out? And they did not move the needle on the subscriber mark whatsoever. We have more episodes of Sharp Cuts than we do subscribers on YouTube, which is a huge embarrassment for us. I mean, we will take that on the nose. But two, it means that people who came on the show have subscribed at a very low percentage. Because we know a bunch of the subscribers. You guys have been commenting down below. Thank you so much, by the way. But our guests, we've been dropping the ball, Josh. They've not been subscribing. What are we doing if we can't even
I think you're going to do it now.
Yeah, I'll go on the show.
Do it right now, JP. Otherwise, you're the clown of the week next week.
Yes.
So my clown of the week is every one of our previous guests who's not gone on and subscribed on the YouTube channel. What are you all doing? Give your head a shake.
Disappointing. I'm
gonna let that sit for a while because that hurts everybody in this situation. I'm hurt. The channel's hurt. Everybody's just affected by that. All right, anybody ready with another clown?
Do we have to?
Josh, the show's called Sharp Cuts. You want to give me clown of the week?
Clown of the week.
All right. While you guys think about your clowns of the week, because, hey, we're doubling down here. Comment down below. I've got to read out a comment.
I don't want to single anyone out, Garrett, but I can think of one, actually. So with the beach national team, the men's program, we like to have a good time. We wear jerseys on Fridays, Garrett. It's called Jersey Friday. Like, you wear your best jersey, and a lot of the guys...
Just start that. Is that Jake? I think that's the kind of Jake stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, and Jake has found a supplier of bootleg jerseys, so you can get really nice jerseys for like $30, Garrett. Anyways, this was once frowned upon by some of the women's Next Gen players, who I can tell now, Garrett, have started to put a little bit of, like, one eye, I'd say. Like, they're starting to be like, oh, I want to get in on this, but they're too, like, embarrassed because they trashed it in the beginning.
I'm equal
so my
parts
clowns of the week
hating on that and loving it.
But you would participate. So Anna Fior, who's not probably listening, and Anna Licht, I know you guys are eventually going to convert to Jersey Friday. So right now, you are the clowns of the week because you make fun of us. But at the same time, I know you're like, oh, whose jersey would I get? Like, I overhear them thinking, pondering, like, would you wear a football jersey, a basketball jersey? By the end of the year, Garrett, I guarantee they'll participate in Jersey Friday.
So that's double Anna?
Double Anna. The Annas. You can follow them on Instagram. They probably have more followers than we do.
So if they ever... Now they can't ever wear a jersey on Jersey Friday because you just called them out.
They're going to cave.
Okay, so if they cave, I mean, congrats. I mean, it sounds like a fun thing, though. Come on, like Jersey Friday? Are you kidding me? What are you repping on Jersey Friday, Josh?
So I got in with Jake and his bootleg supplier. So I have a really nice Steve Nash Phoenix one. I have a Kobe one, but the blue one, because I don't want to wear Laker yellow, but I wear their blue throwback.
Yeah.
We found a supplier, Gary. You might get in on this. It's hockey jerseys, but they're in a tank top cut, so you don't have to wear a hockey jersey. So I have a Edmonton Oilers for my boy Wayne Gretzky. I have a beach tank of Wayne Gretzky.
So you're
beach tank of Wayne Gretzky.
You're now recommending bootleg jersey suppliers here on Sharp Cuts.
Well, the bootleg ones, I'd say if you're on a budget, like a lot of the beach players are, you can get really they look like real NBA ones, but they're not. Or I think the hockey ones are from a company called Bench Clears. No free ads, Garrett, but if you search Bench Clears, they make NHL jerseys in a tank top style.
What do you mean no free ads? You just literally gave them a free shout out on the show.
Yeah, for doing such a great job.
They do a great job. Okay, great job. Anna, get those jerseys. Get it going with the women. Come on, Team Canada, let's do it. Okay, JP. You've been so nice this whole episode. We're 46 minutes in. Nobody's listening. We're just telling them that. There are hopefully still people listening. Let us know who your clown of the week is.
Wow. I would say her prime minister here. Because, they were like... Just because they don't want to move to the sports right now, they just want to get involved. Here in Quebec City, we share so much to be able to get there, and I think that's hard. I know that is not a player, but he has a main goal to be able to those players to be able to get there. So I think it's a heartbreaker, but just have to call here the Quebec Prime Minister to be able to get the move to let that here it's the day like belle cause pour la cause. So here this call like for health, mental health.
Let's talk day.
And so I think that's for our athletes to be able to get there and move and to get healthy. I think he have to make a move. I think that's... I don't want to be political.
Well, you're right. We don't like to get political on the show, except when we're talking about players of the week or clowns of the week, because there is precedent for that. A few weeks ago, the government of Ontario was my player of the week because they are undefeated against the OUA. They've defeated every single team in the OUA, so it sounds like the Quebec Premier is also undefeated when it comes to teams in that division. But hey, let's get back to playing. We hope everybody can do so safely and happily. So that's our segment. Hit us up in the comments below. Clowns of the week. Let us know. I'm going to move on to one comment that we want to talk about from last week. Again, comment down below on the YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. 5-star the podcast. Some guy back with another comment. I mean, that is maybe the best username maybe ever for commenting. So some guy said, totally agree there should be mandates on the coaching staff to submit highlight clips to Sharp Cuts after every match. So thank you, some guy. He continued, the penalty for not doing so should be a mandatory 7-hour bus ride to U of Saskatchewan to play another road game. And I mean, absolutely. That comment is topical. It is on point. It is funny. It is better material than we could ever come up with. So some guy, I mean, great comment. I would read the other comments, but there are none. So that's one on us.
If we could only have one, I'm glad it was that one, though. That's a top-tier comment.
It's a top-tier comment. I'm going to actually just like it right now. Maybe I'll heart it as well as the channel. I mean, that's the kind of treatment you get here when you deliver that sort of stuff. I've replied to 0 of these comments. That's on me. If you're listening and you commented, comment down below again saying how pissed you are that I didn't reply to your comment. But that's how this show goes, JP. I mean, we kind of reached the end. We talk about some things. What'd you think?
Yeah, that was like awesome. Thanks to invite me. I think that was like pretty good, and I also hope some people and they learn some little thing, and I hope you enjoy that time and have to share another one.
I definitely learned some stuff. So I definitely learned I got to get up and go for a walk at least 2 or 3 times a day before I do anything else, which is it's tough for me to wrap my head around, JP. I'll be honest, but I'll check in with you on how it's going. The other thing I've learned is even though you said you were going to subscribe right now, JP, you didn't do it. You have not done it yet.
Oh, yeah, true.
What are you doing? You said you would do it within the show. Have not done it. So at least we got at least from here on out, Josh, go at least get the guests of the show to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Before they even come on the show, I think it needs to be a condition. But like, oh, I'd love to come on the show. Okay, subscribe. And then we'll send you the link to join us for the conversation.
Yeah, like should we include in the questioning of the guest at the end of the show, like, hey, what'd you think? They always say, hey, it went well. Then we go, how much did you really like it, though?
Yeah, really?
Did you really like it, JP, or were you just thinking, these guys don't know what to talk
actually,
about?
like you see my phone right now. So let's see. Let's do it.
Well, this is good, Garrett. I got to learn. So this is just everything's coming together. I learned today that if we ever want Garrett May back on the beach national team, I need to get in better shape, and I think JP's my guy to make that happen. So the worlds are colliding right now, Garrett.
Is that
That was awesome.
is that a true campaign that's happening right now? Is to get Garrett May back? Because I don't know if anybody really wants that.
I don't know. Your one comment had me rattled that you only like coaches who are in shape or have been high-level players. So, I mean, I got to check some boxes here. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you trying to be my coach? Hit that button. Hit that button. Yes, guy. There it is. Subscribe.
There we go, live.
Which episode is that, by the way?
Live.
That's a
Do you
low-quality
see it?
episode.
Can you see it that right now I just did?
Yes. Our listeners can't see it, though, so apologies to the listeners. But JP did just subscribe to the channel live on the show. That is a first here on Sharp Cuts.
I'm the first one.
That is a first here on Sharp Cuts. Now, while you're there, JP, what do you think of young Josh in his full suit?
I want to see that for sure.
It's on the thumbnail that you just showed us on your phone right now.
Oh yeah.
Young Josh in the
For
suit.
those who didn't see it,
And Garrett looking so stoic.
Me looking so pissed. Josh, you look so good there. What happened to you?
What is your face on that, Garrett?
That face is, damn it, my team's going to go 8-8 again.
So yeah, you see, like Josh have a little smile, but you feel like yes, it's the best, it's the worst day ever.
Josh likes volleyball and likes talking about volleyball and likes coaching volleyball, and I'm just a bit of a curmudgeon when it comes to this stuff. I've been a downer on everything everybody said this episode. So if you're still listening, thank you so much. Like, get out and play some volleyball. Except we can't really right now. I also learned that push-ups and the shoulder raise, push-pull, that's a good thing that I got to keep on doing. So, like, what do I do for my back, though, if I don't have any weights, JP? Like, I do a push-up.
Usually, I do like to have, like, those, like, bands. If you use a band or a towel, just try to pull the towel.
Yeah.
Isometric hold is still involving muscles. So that's it.
Isometric hold, for those who don't know, is just holding a position for a length of time, right? Where your muscles are strained.
True.
Yeah, okay.
So just, like, pulling that towel, that's a good thing.
Josh, I know some stuff, buddy.
This is great because, Garrett, congratulations once again. You're engaged, which to me, my wedding, I think, was the last peak of my physical fitness. It's been a slow decline since then. So I hope you can follow in the steps of many people that the wedding is really your peak, last chance to peak at physical fitness before you settle in.
I better come back up then, because it has not been looking good. And thank you for congratulating me, Josh. You know, it's not something you get that much, and you've been kind of ignoring it for the past several shows. So appreciate you bringing it up. You know, like, appreciate it. Yeah. So, but I need to get in shape, and it sounds like okay. We've avoided this question when we're talking about aesthetics, JP, because some of us don't need functionality. Let's be honest. Josh just said he doesn't introduce balls when it's in season. Like, what does he need a shoulder for? But he's trying to look good. I'm trying to look good. So what's my best exercise or few exercises to go to help the body look good?
Great question.
Like, first, if you eat healthy, that's going to help.
Okay, that's really not what I wanted to hear.
Beer,
did not like that answer so far.
Chips doesn't help.
Damn it.
But still, like I said, if you go for a walk, if you're just doing squats and push-ups and pulls, just by what I give you, you will already have those results. Because first, it's not getting you healthy for rotator cuff injuries and all that. It's just put you like the chest, biceps, and all that. So if
shoulder,
you're doing curls,
now we're talking.
So not like all those little things, but like the front, the back. It's always like
balance for sure. You don't want to be unbalanced. But the squat, I have a tough time wrapping my head around the squat because squats suck. And is anybody really looking at the legs?
But the fact is, more you working your legs, that for the growth hormones helping you to have like more arms. Oh,
Interest is peaked.
So working your legs, helping you to have more guns, and yeah.
Okay, now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
So because I can only work out my legs or arms so much before I rest, recover, come back to it. But now I've got a whole nother area of my body to really hit up to really help stimulate the growth in all areas.
Yes.
Josh.
Amazing.
Josh checked out when you said no beer or chips. He was like, nah, I can't. I can't.
Is it even really worth it at this point?
This.
But you're telling me daily bodyweight squats are just going to help just general health and fitness and growth hormone?
That's going to help to stimulate your growth hormone. So if you do, before you do your upper body, do a little bit of sets of legs as a group A, and do your hypertrophy upper body trainings. That's going to help you to stimulate that growth hormones and the testosterone and all that. That's going to help.
I'm going to do a few squats right now just to get that going, like let's
and then have to go do squats and do push-ups.
Let's go with the squats. How's my technique? What do you think? You don't have a good view. Push-ups? I'm going to do one push-up right now.
That's good, but that's not hypertrophy.
Done. Success. So I'm getting swole now, right, JP? You said it. I did the squats first, then I did a push-up.
Just to stimulate your legs a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
I'm already tired, by the way. Like
trust and those legs, and do after that your upper body. That's going to help you to stimulate those hormones.
You know what, Josh? We've come full circle this episode. We've learned. We've had a few laughs. We've chirped previous guests for not subscribing to the channel. I mean, what more can we fit into an episode? Anything?
I think we'll let the comments speak for this. I think comment below if you got something out of this episode.
We'll let the comments speak for this. We say that now. And if we come back and there's no comments, the comments will have spoken. I wish there was a way for our listeners to comment, because I know there's some of you out there who put us on double speed. We're listening to, I'm talking really fast right now. Can you really understand what I'm saying when I'm talking at such a high speed? Who go out there and listen to us, but they can't comment. I wish there was a way. But
I had a few listeners reach out, and Garrett, they were actually really impressed by the unintentional burial of you when they asked, basically, oh yeah, I think I've heard of you, like the Purple Couch interview, or like, aren't you the Yes Guy Gaming guy, where they didn't really give you your props for everything you've accomplished. They had no idea that, you were like, player of the year.
Hold on, though. Hold on. After that, listeners messaged you and said they loved how I was unknown and I got buried last episode.
Yes. They thought it was good.
That is an extension, Barry, and I'm feeling it now again a week later. Not only did nobody reach out to me, because nobody has my number, obviously, because nobody even knows who I am. But
so when you say friends of the show, they're not actually friends of yours. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Well, are they? Everyone seems to apparently not know who I am and be chirping me in the comments. Is this like, you know what, though? I can take it. Let's go. Bring it on. Am I known? No. I'm the Purple Couch guy who maybe has a show that we can't even get the guest to subscribe to.
But I do remember you once when I was like...
Okay, you know what, JP? I can see...
Like the floating hair, like you have like long hair, like to the shoulder. I do remember that.
Yes.
I do remember that.
I had long flowing hair past my shoulder. Should I bring that back?
No.
Damn,
nice.
I thought we could talk him into it.
Bonus.
But like Simon's, like I have one on Simon's when he was in college, and he had like a Sancho Bob afro.
We need to get him to get that back. I'm always for an afro. Afro is always yes.
And it was like using a bandana with all his
amazing
hair out there. So the middle guy with a Sancho Bob hair.
He needed to look taller, so he had to get the extra height on the fro. I fully support it, Josh. You need to tell your guys on the beach team to get some interesting flow going. It's going to bring some character to our sport. How many crew cuts can we have here, really?
I don't know if we have one crew cut.
Really? Great.
I don't think we have style. I don't think we have crew cuts either.
Nice.
Although Dan Darian today in training wore the pink Overkill Freddy t-shirt, that thing will like burn your eyes out. That thing pops.
That is not, you know what? I'm all for guys using a little pink. Absolutely. But not that pink. No.
You know the overkill shirt
Yes.
I'm talking about, Garrett? That thing, yeah,
Yes.
that'll get you.
That's not a subtle pink. That's like a pink.
It's not even an ad. It's a jersey is turning pink, like
Yeah.
pretty bad.
And then it gets brown. Ugh. Ugh. Gosh, you're right. We don't have style. Jeez.
Oh yeah, I do remember my first overkill shirt in the past when I was like sponsored by Overkill.
Yeah.
That was that kind of light baby blue with a green thread.
Yeah.
But the thread was so light and bright, like a lemon over there. It was like totally like shiny out there.
I should go into, you know what? I was in Toronto and I should have, when I was at my biological father's house, gone diving through the old boxes that he has. Because there's some really interesting old gear stuff that these people used to generally wear when they were out there. Like kind of crazy, like, you know, tie-dye jerseys like that. Like, have you ever seen anybody rep that now? No, like, but that, why not? Who cares? Like, it's kind of cool. Way cooler than like a bright neon, like bright shirt, like to wear out to the beach. Like some cool stuff. There's also probably a full box of like Nokia old brick phones. Remember those like full bricks? Like they were thick. They used to give those out at prizes at the beach tour events. So we probably have a full box of those hiding somewhere. You should pull it out and use it, save some money. See if it still works.
It looks like CBs.
Yes.
You know, like a big booth.
Yes.
My dad is working in selling and refurbished telephone, but I do remember his first cell phone was like the cell phone, like a CBs with the battery on it.
Yeah.
So that
With
was
the
like
long
terrible.
ass
He was
antenna?
working with the suitcase.
Yeah.
But that was the cell phone.
Yeah.
That was like,
No, car phone too. You had a phone that you'd plug into your car. That was where it worked. Like, man, we got to bring some of these throwbacks back, Josh. Forget Jersey Day. Well, no, keep Jersey Day.
No, that's here to stay.
Yeah, keep Jersey Day. Let's add in another day because things get pretty dry during the fall. Like we got to add in like, I don't know, funky throwback Tuesdays or something. I mean, Thursday is a great day for a throwback.
If somebody wants to sponsor us, we could do a Thursday, and it could be Overkill Thursdays. I'm not against a theme.
But Overkill is not with national team anymore. That was fun what it was before. In your time, I think, Garrett, that was like all the Overkill stuff, and nobody had the same stuff, but it was like always Overkill.
Yeah, I'm
So that was
disappointed.
great. The shorts, the jerseys, the T-shirts.
I'm disappointed that we talk about my time, like that I have a time that I was around. Like, gosh, what a hit to the ego to hear that.
It's coming back. It's coming back. I got to get in shape, and then Garrett's coming back, and then Overkill's coming back.
If you get in shape, Josh, I will get in shape and come back and play.
That's a challenge. I think I gotta give you strength conditioning on both of you, and that's gonna be the challenge. Who's gonna hold it all the time?
Yeah, Josh. I mean, I'm down. Challenge accepted. Challenge thrown. But I mean, tune in next week to see how we do, because we may come back next week and Josh and I just drank beers and chips all day every day and didn't even get up to go for a walk. So that's also equally as possible. So tune in next week. JP, thanks so much for joining us, man. Like, this was a blast. I'm glad we finally got a chance to do this. Anything else we want to say to the fans who are listening still?
Keep in shape and get involved in beach volleyball. I think that's the best way to do it.
That's a great way to end the show.
Beach volleyball is much better.
That's a great way to end the show. Thank you so much, JP. Thank you, Josh, as always.
Thanks, Garrett. Always a pleasure.
Great. Okay. Thanks for. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Anyway, thank you all for
good,
listening,
you.
and we will see you next time.